We just had an opportunity a few moments ago to visit with Tevin Mack, and how about a welcome for the third member of the Three Musketeers freshman triumvirate, Eric Davis Jr. with us now. And did you go along with that Three Musketeers thing?
Oh yeah, it's something Coach kind of started for us. When we first came in, he was like, "You guys are going to be the best friends." And, I'm looking at him like, I really don't know these guys like that. I kind of know Tevin, but it's something Coach kind of developed for us, and ever since then, we've been really close.
Yeah, what brings one guy from Michigan, one guy from South Carolina, and one guy from Texas together to be so close other than basketball? Did you establish a common bond pretty quickly?
Yeah, definitely, because we're all freshmen. We all have the same struggle. Like say if we have a bad game, we've been there before. So it's like we just look out for each other on things like that, like off the court things, like if we need something like cleaning supplies, just little things like that. Just being like a brother for him, always being there.
Shaka, it different from Tevin, where you had recruited Tevin to go to VCU. Eric had made the decision to come to the University of Texas. What were your impressions when you saw Eric on tape and what you knew about him, and then when you got a chance to meet him and get to know him?
Well, I'd seen Eric play live, and I knew he was a really good player. And what I didn't know was how dynamic of a personality that he has. And so when I got the job, one of my first calls was to Eric and Snoop as well, because what happens is when there's a coaching change, everyone tries to get to these guys and say, hey, you shouldn't go there, you should go to this school, you should go to that school. And Eric was no different. With him being from Saginaw, Michigan, there were some people trying to put pressure on him to do something else. And, the great thing is once we started talking, there was a relationship there that we established. And I learned pretty quickly, I don't want to speak for you, E, but that we were going to be really close, just because, I don't know, there's just something about him and his personality that, makes you want to be around him and makes you feel a certain way about him.
Now, Eric, you'd made the decision to come to Texas, but as Shaka just said, there were people, I guess, probably tugging and pulling on you once the change happened. And, well, what was your impressions of Coach Smart when you finally got a chance to talk to him and then meet him and all of that?
The first time he called me, he said, I know this is a kind of a rocky situation for you, but, he actually told me, like, go get recruited by other schools. So I'm like, no head coach tells a player that. So it's like kind of, I was surprised. And he was like, I don't mean it that way as far as like I don't want you. It's like, do what's best for you. And once he said that, I'm like, okay, yeah, me and him is going to be really close because he wants what's best for me. So, like, honestly, that day, he had me right there as soon as after that first call. He
had you at hello.
Yeah, definitely.
One of the things that's really good about Eric, he's got a great support system around him. And probably the member of his family that is the most basketball savvy is his Uncle Tony. And his Uncle Tony was extremely supportive of us, really from the beginning. And he's a guy that's coached and has played basketball, so he understands, some of the things that maybe other people don't understand that don't have a background in it. And he was instrumental in helping Eric maybe block out some of the other things, because there were certainly some other guys trying to get in his ear.
Yeah, I mean, did you have a lot of people then recruiting you, re-recruiting you, so to speak?
Yes. It was. I was getting a lot of calls, but during that time, it was kind of like during the state championship. I was playing in the state championship, so I wasn't taking too many calls. So afterwards, I sat down with my uncle. We talked about it, and and the biggest thing my uncle told me is, you have to go through this process again. I know it's hard for you, but take these phone calls and see what these coaches about. But like I said earlier, once Coach Smart called, I'm like, Uncle, I don't think I want to go anywhere else. I want to go to Texas still.
And he was very supportive of that.
Yes.
What's been your impression of not only Coach Smart but the rest of the coaching staff and how this team has come together, especially here in the second half of the season?
Just like the bond, like that's the biggest thing, the coaching staff really preaches the connection, having a connection on the court and off the court, specifically off the court, like he said earlier today in practice, he said, these are your brothers. So, you know, we need to act like and treat each other like we're brothers. And, you know, always staying connected, because you never know what your teammate is going through. So it's like if you're connected, you know, you feel like you have somebody on your side. You know, you feel a lot stronger as a unit. You're stronger as a unit rather than being an individual.
Shaka, are your 3 freshmen as unique as, say, a person who says they have 3 children that are unique in their own way?
They really are. I mean, they're very different from one another, but they also share certain traits in that they're all young and energetic. They all love to work. I mean, these guys love being in the gym, and I think that's something that's special, because it's great to go in the gym with your teammates and feel like, okay, we're all working towards something to get better. Personality-wise, is the most outgoing, and he's somebody that he's never met a stranger. I mean, he can get along with anybody, and he's a guy that, you know, has a really, really high level of leadership ability inside of him. I think, you know, in some ways, and I didn't coach Royale, but he reminds me of Royale Ivy as I know him now, as I imagine he was at that age. He just has an understanding beyond his years, Eric does, of certain team dynamics and interpersonal dynamics. And, you know, I think it's the same for him and Tevin and Snoop. As these guys continue to gain in confidence and as they continue to get their feet fully under them, I just think the sky's the limit. I think Eric is going to do phenomenal things here. He's gotten so much better. On the defensive end, he's really improved. He gets mad at me because I'm always on him about that, but he really has gotten better. You know, he went a stretch the other night for about 3-4 possessions where he's defending Buddy Hield.
Yep.
You know, you look out there and it's like, we've got a freshman who really wasn't known for defense guarding the best player in the country, and he did a good job. And so it's just a matter of making progress and battling through the things that come at you as a freshman, fatigue and mental fatigue, and realizing you're not as physically strong as maybe some of the guys you're going up against. But I'm really proud of him. I mean, he's making a lot of progress, and his future is really bright.
We're going to spend a little more time with Eric Davis Jr. coming up when Longhorn Weekly live from Pluckers continues here on the Longhorn Network and the Longhorn IMG Radio Network. Welcome you back here to Longhorn Weekly from Pluckers. Joined right now by Longhorns freshman guard Eric Davis. Let me go back to that thing that Coach Marr was just talking about there, because it went through my mind as well the other night in Norman, and it was down the stretch of the game, and you're guarding Buddy Hield. Here's a guy who's probably going to win the National Player of the Year award. He's probably going to be the Wooden Award winner. He's probably going to win the Naismith Award. What goes through your mind when you're guarding a guy like that?
You know, the first thought that honestly ran through my mind was like, oh my God, I'm guarding Buddy Hield. You know, I was kind of nervous, but then I looked over at Coach Smart. You know, he had this unbelievable energy, you know, like type of vibe. He was like, you can do it, you know, just his facial expression. And after that, I'm like, oh yeah, I can guard him. I got it. And, you know, the biggest thing I was saying is like, if I don't let him catch it, then, you know, he can't really do anything. So my biggest thing was like, okay, don't let him catch it. And if he catches, you know, let's you know, do what we talked about on the scouting report, you know, sending him to the help. And, I felt like I did a pretty good job.
Normally when we talk about confidence with freshmen, it comes down to offense again, the shooting. I was talking to Tevin about that, about the confidence in the game. But it also translates to defense, too, having the confidence to defend a really good player. And Buddy Hield's not the only really good defender, really good player you've had to defend this year in Kansas and Baylor and some of the other teams as well. I mean, so that confidence thing extends to defense, too, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. You know, these past several games, you know, I've been trying to get myself going defensively. You know, that kind of helps me offensively. So, you know, having, you know, great energy on defense, you know, leads, you know, shot-making abilities. You know, I make some shots, you know, I normally probably don't make, get some lucky bounce. So that's just the biggest emphasis, you know, the coaches have been telling us, you know, the younger guys.
What part of your game do you feel pretty good about right now, and what part of your game do you still feel you can be much better at?
Oh, my offensive game, I feel pretty good. No one can stop me. I feel like, you know, I'm the best player on the floor every time I step out there. And, you know, I need to get better at my defense. You know, I'm making progress, like Coach Smart said, but I continue to get a lot better.
We've talked about the freshmen kind of leaning on each other. You guys, I know also some of the upperclassmen help you out as well. Is there a guy or two there that you kind of you lean on a little bit when you need a little bit of guidance?
Javon Felix. Javon Felix is he's a good dude. You know, a lot of people seem like may think he's laid back, but he's funny, man. He's a character.
And they give him a lot of grief about his height.
Oh
right?
yeah, he's 5'11". Hopefully he doesn't hear me say that, but he's 5'11". But you know, Javon's been a great teammate, man. He's been leading very well. You know, he's been helping me personally a lot. Like, you know, off the court, you know, on the bus rides, you know, I sit back there with him. We just talk about, you know, just little things. Like, he tell me about his freshman year, some of the mistakes he made. And, you know, it just helped me. You know, he's really been a big brother to me.
You're a much better defender as a freshman than Javon was. Just to tell you.
Okay.
I won't say it to Javon's face there. That's all right. Thanks for joining us.
Yep.
All right, Eric Davis with us. Shaka will be back to wrap up this week's edition of Longhorn Weekly, where we continue in a moment.